Who in the earth plays Piranha Plant and Dr. Mario? Who decides between all of the 78 characters you can pick that Piranha Plant and Dr. Mario will be your main core of your roster?
Right. And Yoshi and Dr. Mario were in the game first, so he's playing these two characters. He's Piranha Plant, and then he thinks, oh, that's a nice addition to my roster.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm very interested in. Well, I'm really biased. I'm a Pokemon Trainer player myself. SR plays Diddy Kong and Pokemon Trainer. So I really want to see what my fellow Pokemon Trainer brother from Sweden has to offer. So we'll get right into it with Terry starting from Ireland versus a Lucina.
That's right. I think this is a nice pull for our friends from Sweden, because those big old disjointed hitboxes on Time Balloon's Lucina are gonna be very good at keeping a character out, which is always important versus Shoto.
And we see that right now with the counter.
Right, and not just a counter, a full edge guard right at the start of the game brings us the 0 to death.
A great start for Sweden, and people keep thinking about Terry and his bad recovery. While that's true, Terry does have some mix-ups he can do with this, the back side B, the down B, the up B. All of these things can be really mixed up. So I'm quite curious to see how Hackle Serpents will adapt to that tremendous edge guard from Time Balloon.
Me too, but at the end of the day, all of them have quite a big hitbox, and let's just prime counterbait. Right now we're seeing a reset to neutral, the first real neutral we have seen, and we switch right back to an edge guard, and it is instantly another KO for Time Balloon. What can Hackle Serpent do to get back in here?
Hackle Serpent doesn't even get to use his ghost sign. It's not even time for his day of light to shine. And Time Balloon has been playing very methodically, and we've known Time Balloon's playstyle is just consistent edge guarding, consistent patient play, and that up B out of shield is barely not punished.
Right, and that's a big problem if you're playing a big punish character like Terry.
Oh
my god, that's a big old dunk from Time Balloon. Doesn't even let us finish our sentences. That is a 3-stock in just barely over a minute, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like Time Balloon knows we're short on time and we're on a bit of a delay. You played that game insanely well and immediately taking down 3 stocks with barely any hassle. Right, amazing play by Time Balloon.
He needs to change up the spelling in his stack. That was a Time Balloon, alright, but not the one we saw here on the screen.
Yeah, for sure.
So Hackle Serpent already out of Ireland's roster. They got 12 stocks left. What can they do? Lucina is the guaranteed opponent.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of matchups to pick from. What do you think they'll pick?
So against Lucina, it's really important to realize that her grounded game is insanely good. The moment you start jumping is when you start to commit it. But the commitment from her grounded moves are actually really, really safe. Throwing out a well-spaced up tilt or a well-spaced F tilt is almost not punishable.
Right, but you can't start jumping in yourself because Lucina is also one of the best at just hitting people out of the air.
Exactly. However, Palutena has an amazing bear that makes sure that even though you jumped and even though you jumped in a fair, it doesn't matter because that shield is quite almighty.
You're feeling the hollow pup from Ireland.
I'm feeling the hollow pup. I'm feeling the Palutena play. We saw how Regal from Turkey almost dismantled the whole of Belgium with just a Palutena. So I'm quite curious to see if Howlerpup can do the same against Sweden for Ireland.
Me too, of course. If they feel more like a franchise battle, they can also go for Winter with the Crom. You know, it's a shame that they never gave Lucina an ult where she's disguised as Marth from her original Fire Emblem Awakening game, because that would be extra cool.
I mean, that would be very hard to distinct between Marth and Lucina play, right?
Right, I guess.
I never Marth, so that won't be a big problem. But say there's a universe where a Marth plays against a Lucina.
But their movesets are also pretty hard to distinguish,
yeah,
so you know, I guess it wouldn't be that bad. You'll never be quite confused in neutral. It's only when you notice that the Marth isn't quite doing as little damage as you expect that you notice that it's actually a Lucina.
Yeah, exactly.
But I suppose nobody's here for a nice casual franchise battle. We are here for the prestige of winning a European-wide crew battle. So yeah.
I mean, there's so much on the line with these crew battles, right? Because having so much regional pride and all these rivalries between the EU countries, right? Everyone knows the top dogs are Germany, France, and of course the Netherlands. I might be a bit biased, but all of these other countries, they really want to be the top dog themselves.
Right,
Why
Ireland
is
is
Sweden
definitely,
not?
Ireland is definitely a place where you might expect to see some big developments because UK had a slow start but is gradually becoming a very, very good country
For
for
sure.
Ultimate. I expect a lot of cross-pollination between the Irish and the UK scene.
Yeah, for sure.
So, there's going to be definitely a country to watch as Ultimate develops as a game. Of course, I hope all of the development can be offline pretty soon. But
Yeah,
I do
I hope so
like
too.
that we got the good people from the ESCI still putting on some big events.
Yeah. Amazing events. Crew battles are always really hype. And there's so much on the line, and the stakes are always really big, high. So let's see how these players handle the pressure, because having a whole country root for you might be a bit overwhelming for some people. But these players are good.
We should
They know
actually
how
have
to
a
work with
giant
pressure.
Discord call where the players are forced to be plugged in
Yeah.
with even amount of people from the opposing countries.
Oh, that's so
Just so
cool.
they have to listen through their headphones, like what they would usually hear from an offline major.
Yeah.
But the European offline major.
The only thing that's missing is the trash talk between two teams playing each other. Because in the offline setting, you can shout at every other crew member from the opposing team, shouting that they're doing really bad, they're bad players, they should feel bad for losing against their country. But there's not as much trash talk going on in a voice chat, because they all got their separate chat rooms.
That's why you have to force the other country in as well. Either way, we're gonna have a test of people at home being able to fully focus. This time it's gonna be in Yoshi's story. You are exactly right about the Holopup choice. And Timberlin, though, he's not afraid at all of this Palutena. He's getting right in there.
Yeah, for sure. And Palutena's strength is mostly just stuffing out any jumps Lucina tries to preemptively take. Whenever she tries to jump, you could expect a fair or a bear or the infamous Nair from Palutena.
Right, so last game we saw Time Balloon with Lucina going all in, no quarter. But in this game you'd say you'd expect a little bit more of patient, calm play from Time Balloon.
Yeah, for sure. And you see how that F-tilt sliding across the stage is so effective. Because the run speed from Lucina on the ground is actually pretty great, while the air drift from Lucina is actually pretty miserable. Especially because she's a floaty, so she is a big combo food.
Right, so her aerial moves are the ones to go for, but you want to make sure you use that ground speed to properly set them up, because that dash attack really isn't too impressive.
For sure. Especially in a small stage like this, Palutena can juggle Lucina freely without any hesitation.
And we have seen this Time Balloon is on the run right now. He's been in the air for quite a while, retreating to the ledge, but he has had so much trouble getting back. Finally, he does it with a well-timed get-up attack.
Yeah. I think Holopup could have dropped down the ledge and just countered. The same thing what Time Balloon did against Terry. Doesn't matter. The side B from Holopup gets the KO done. And this is the first stock Ireland has taken from Sweden.
Right, I think Holopup is gonna lay off the counters though. The Palutena's counter isn't known for being the best. And on top of that, the Dolphin Slash is so fast that sometimes, even if you counter, you don't get hit by the actual attacks.
What a great conversion from side B, comboing to side B, using that triplet really extremely well. Could have been a stock, but Time Balloon says no, and she takes her own stock.
That's right, he finally eases it up, but like you said, Holopup has been doing amazing. Time Balloon is working on reducing that lead right now, but a quick dash attack is going to send him back to the ledge. It's so tough on the ledge versus Holopup, and he keeps him there time after time. It's only when he starts charging these special attacks that he really gives Time Balloon a chance to get up.
Yeah. Whenever you see Lucina go for a Nair 1, you always expect a smash attack to go along with it, because it's one of the only setups Lucina has instead of stray hits to get a kill.
Right, and for an older guy like me, it's too slow to react to, so the F smash is going immediately afterward, even if you shield it. You kind of have to, put your faith in.
Yeah, you can accept it, and I mean, the F smash is like -20 or -30, so it's really easy to punish. But another side B And another side B. The side B has been a big name of this game for Hollowpup.
Oh yeah, we got big ladders from Hollowpup, just like you said, even finishing up with an up air right now. That's so much damage. And I feel like the most of this game has been played with a ledge trapping. Hollowpup has just gotten huge amount of damage and combos off of ledge trap situations. And Tabaloon, whenever he does have Hollowpup at the ledge, he can keep him there, and he gets put off stage and just hit again and again with these explosive flames.
Well, we know what they say about hot air against balloons. They send them off flying up in the air, and that's the only thing Hollowpup has been doing to juggle Time Balloon. But Time Balloon doesn't give up and finds finally a stock again.
Right. Despite the consistent damage output and combos from Hollowpup, Time Balloon has been doing a good job of getting his revenge stocks at relatively acceptable percentages. And right now, the ledge trapping is finally coming together for Time Balloon. Barely missing that backer. That is a shame, but he is still taking control of the game.
For sure.
Keeping stage control and winning in neutral.
I mean, Time Balloon has already taken 5 stocks already.
Oh yeah, can he get a 6th? Can he get a 6th stock and get a great comeback? Because he has been behind for pretty much the entire game, but now, slowly but surely, like both players are entering kill percent.
Yeah. Oh, there was a great air dodge to the stage back. And up to finding the kill.
That was buffed, I won't say recently, but it has been buffed, I believe. And, you know, I think Hollowpup, he is letting out a sigh of relief because he had such a big lead the entire game. And yet Time Balloon managed to get him, you know, of course he still had quite a lead. But if Time Balloon had gotten a well-placed F-Smash, he could have gotten that 6th stock. But fortunately for Hollowpup, he won't have to feel guilty about letting that happen because he didn't let it happen.
Yeah, luckily for Ireland, the momentum of Sweden has been halted a bit. If Time Balloon had taken the last stock of Hollowpup as well, that would have been a big disaster. Because seeing one player tear through 2 of your crew members is quite demotivating.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I've seen a couple of crew battles in my time, and that is definitely the most demoralizing thing that you can see in a crew battle.
For sure.
And that takes us right back to the roster for Sweden, because now they have their choice of players. Have you taken a look at the Swedish roster, and who do you think?
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and Palutena is such a tricky character to play against. There's not really a big counterpick you could pick.
Oh, I feel like Palutena struggles mostly with small characters, but the only small character I see is Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong or Squirtle. Both of these are from SR. So exactly what you're saying, SR could be the next player from Sweden to get some playtime.
Of course, we have the Joker from Rage, not technically a small character, but he does low profile quite a bit.
I think this might sound weird, but I think Mario could have some potential as well, especially because this is the last stock from Hollowpup. And seeing that Hollowpup has only 1 stock left, I think it's also important to think long term, right? Because say Hollowpup loses stock, and what's the next best player Ireland can send in? And it's mostly option coverage, right? Especially because there are so many heavy characters from Ireland.
Right, that's the one thing I know for sure. Sweden is not gonna send in their Ridley, Bowser, or Donkey Kongs, because there are no other characters that struggle as much with those washing machine swirling combos that Palutena. And I think a Palutena main like Hollowpup could easily string about like 4 to 5 nairs and finish with an up air on those characters. It's the last thing you want in a crew battle.
And the brawler?
Hold on. He is not on the graphic.
So Toadie, also next to the Piranha Plant Yoshi and Dr. Mario, Toadie also feels like playing a Mii. A Mii brawler.
I suppose they just ran out of space on that Twitter graphic.
I guess so, yeah. But the one thing that I think is very, very disheartening is that it's not a Mario character costume.
Not a Mario character costume. He could have still played some kind of Yoshi, just would have been a more woolly variant with...
So instead of throwing the eggs, it would be throwing the bowling balls.
Right. Woolly world with a very non-woolly projectile.
So I know 0 to nothing about Mii's brawler. So could you maybe throw me in?
And I suspect Holopop doesn't either, and that's actually kind of the 4000 IQ play, because in the screw battle, you switch into a matchup where they only have one stock left. That is 0 time to kind of feel and adapt and look at what they're doing. You're just gonna get surprised by the matchup inexperience straight away.
Oh, that up smash, that actually hit. Even though it's a star spot, it always makes me shock. And that side B also makes the Odie shock, because he lost his first stock.
Yes, he did. I have never seen a Palutena this accurate with their explosive flames. Matchup inexperience or not, who knows? Maybe Ireland even has some kind of deposit or of Wii brawler players, because he doesn't know exactly what he's doing.
So this might be the long Kong, because the Odie knows, or I mean Sweden knows that Holopop only has one stock left. They're trying to make sure the next character doesn't have a sure winning matchup, because matchup is so unknown.
I don't even know who would have a winning matchup versus me brawlers except for...
I don't even know what me brawler does, but I do know that he spikes whenever you get a regrab. Odie takes a stock, but losing one in his process.
Right. I guess 1-for-1 is about as good as you can get it versus the best player of the opposing team. At least I'm assuming Holopop was the best, because he put on quite a show with the 3 stops that he had.
I know for a fact that Ant2, the Samus player from Ireland, is also a very good player.
Right,
I've seen him there through the previous match together with Michael. The Samus play, he was actually really great at contesting stage control, using the missiles very well. So that might be the next.
I would like to see it, and I can imagine the pick, because me brawler really is all about close combat. He doesn't have any particular move to deal with those projectiles, and he isn't as fast as like Fox or Joker. So it's not like he can just instantly close the gap either.
Yeah, and I think having a Samus expert on the commentary desk is very helpful if Ant2 gets to play. I mean, you played that character for I don't know how long.
Ever since SmashCore came out.
Of course. So it should very help if you get some very great insight about Samus. So I trust you on the fact that Samus wins really hard against me brawler. But still, we don't know me brawler, right? Me brawler
Samus does win, but Saru has given me quite a hard time with his Mii brawler before. What really helps is that the Mii customs are legal. That feign jump is really big in any matchup, and loves to just hit your landings like Samus does.
Yeah, I mean from the specials we've seen the bowling ball, the feign jump, and the
X kick.
The X kick, and we see Winter coming in with the Crom.
Okay, that's also gonna be pretty good. Me brawler, you know, he likes to get in your face just like Crom, but he definitely doesn't have the disjoints to contest.
Exactly.
Crom.
And Crom only needs like one opening to get an amazing advantage state. While the disadvantage state, I believe, isn't very bad from me brawler.
It's the feign jump. If he didn't have the feign jump, he would be toast, but he does have the feign jump, and that instantly puts him up to one of the better advantage sets in the game.
Yeah, but the feign jump is very well a bit of an AliExpress flip kick from ZSS.
It certainly is. Mostly offensively.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's still more than capable. Right now we are seeing both players kind of feeling themselves out. We see a lot of feign jump from Taudi. He wants to see how Crom moves before he is comfortable enough throwing out his own. Now he has Metal Edge.
I think the bowling ball is very detrimental to stop the recovery from Crom.
Alright, it's gonna be very important. Of course, like most projectiles, if you do get a hit on the bowling ball, you're gonna just clank with it and power through. I don't think it's powerful enough to straight up bust through hitboxes.
We don't know. Bowling balls are quite strong, and I think there's quite a bit of hit storm from the bowling ball, so I imagine there's a lot of damage. But speaking of a lot of damage, F smash for Crom is quite strong.
Right, and that's unfortunate for Taudi. He's been doing such a good job hitting him off stage with the bowling balls, keeping him at the ledge, but one wrong move and a roll past F smash is gonna do so much.
It doesn't interrupt him.
No, but I think he hit the super armor portion and not a hitbox. That's a big difference.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. I mean, we've seen how much shield stun and hit stun the bowling ball has, so I can imagine the damage is insanely high from the bowling ball.
Right, it's a very awkward move. There's not really anything else like it in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So here comes Crom, he's building up damage, using that double-edged dance. Tauri trying to find a way in, but we haven't seen any big combos from Tauri. Mostly it's been advantage shade and single hits, which, you know, fair enough. Keeping it even, considering he started with 2 stocks, is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Rock Lee, instead of throwing around his weighted leg armor, he throws his bowling balls because of the Rock Lee costume. It's so funny to see any Mii brawler do something work.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Usually it's the gunner. Sometimes
yeah, it's usually the gunner.
Fighter,
yeah.
But rarely the brawler. So this is a treat today. Excellent read on the air dodge, but he just back just a little bit too far. Gets a Jer afterward, but it's not quite gonna do it. Tauri still has a chance to take more stocks from Sweden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was about to say Mii brawler's quite heavy. Partly because of the bowling balls, but in general, they're one of the heavier characters in the game. So not a lot of people tend to realize that because he's a bit smaller than most heavy characters, but he actually is one of the heavier characters. So that jab back air didn't kill as soon as you think.
It didn't. Unfortunately for Tauri, he could not use that extra chance to even at the stock count. He ends up going down, taking 2 stocks and losing 3, so that's a negative for Team Sweden, but you know, they came from Holopup, who's really good. Inter also showed us quite something in the game, so you know.
Yeah, Time Balloon still did his works, and Sweden is still in lead, right?
Right, you can't just look at the total stock count to see how you did. You're like, who did those stocks belong to? Taking 1 stock from Quick is easily 3 of your average player, for example.
Yeah. So Team Sweden. They lost a man, and again, it's time for a new challenger to approach. And I'm thinking SR is going in with the Diddy Kong. I've heard a lot of people say that Diddy Kong has a great matchup against Swordies, mainly because you can catch the landing really quickly with the banana.
That's definitely true. On top of that, Chrome really likes to approach with those aerials, which is always going to be tougher versus small characters. Like we said before, Diddy is the one truly small character on the roster. You mentioned Squirtle earlier, but that's only part of a package.
Yeah, and whenever Chrome tries to use his Nair against a small character, the timing and the spacing is really specific, and you essentially just make sure Chrome has 1 tool less, and that's quite big. So I fully expect SR to be put in with his Diddy Kong.
Right, from a matchup standpoint, that's what I will go for. Of course, the team captain can still, you know, decide and discuss with members. So maybe on a player-to-player level, he isn't really doing it.
That's true.
Maybe they go for the Chrome Ditto, you never know.
I mean, that's the most interesting part about crew battles, right? Do you go for the most optimal matchups you can imagine? Or is there a second layer about thinking long-term? What if Winter dies really quickly and we get counterpicked again? Or what if a player is not comfortable playing against a specific character or a specific player even? There's so many layers to think about.
Yeah, and then of course in the European SmashCore Invitational, we have that extra layer of people being allowed to bring 10 characters for a total amount of 5 competing players.
Exactly.
So they have extra options. They don't just have to pick the order in which they're going to send people in. They're going to have to make a decision on who gets to go in the first place.
And which player handles pressure really well. That's also a big factor.
Very big.
It's quite a prestigious tournament, and having a whole country to count on you, that adds on to a lot of pressure. So we all know all these players are great players. They've handled pressure situations before, but that's in a single match. That's there's not a team standing behind you hoping you succeed. It's mostly you. When you lose, you lose. In this situation, when you lose, you just kind of let the team down. What are you going to do?
There's no game 2 for you.
No, exactly.
That's eternal shame.
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked about what, in terms of players and matchup, is the wise thing to do. In terms of just fun, I want to see J-Bob from Sweden, man. I'm looking for some Ridley action, one of my favorite characters to
You want to
watch
see a Ridley against Chrom? That doesn't seem fun at all.
It's fun for me, I get to watch. Anyway, it's gonna be the Battle of the Echoes. It looks like Sweden chose Riff with the Roy.
Okay.
And we're returning to Yoshi's story, so, you know, combining the power of both characters and the tiny blast zones of this stage, we're gonna see some very early stocks.
Very explosive. I've been recently playing some Melee, and this stage has been my favorite to play on. It's not a big difference between Melee and this game, because both of these games have really small platforms, small blast zones, and
Go.
there's so many combo potentials with all these platforms, so it's really going to be interesting to see how explosive this matchup will be.
Right, two characters, both pretty fast, both big on combos.
Yeah.
Short blast zones, platforms to aid with the combos, like you said there. This is the perfect recipe for a very quick game.
For sure, for sure. And a feisty matchup in the crew battle, which has a lot of stakes in it, so expect a lot of salt if one of these players gets comboed to death.
So far, though, they seem to be very careful. They know exactly what they can do.
We've been hyping it up, though.
We can see Chrom trying to go for the counter, Riff trying to go for the counter as well, but it ain't happening for some reason.
He actually got the read, but he didn't get great right spacing for it. That's really unfortunate for Winter.
Yeah, it's been really even so far. Just as I say it, he gets a big old forward smash to the back, almost taking the stock cross stage.
Why are these players not dead?
I don't know. That's a question I'm constantly asking whenever I see versus Roy.
And look at these players just fighting ghosts.
They are fighting those.
They are the shield. Almost taking the stock of Roy, and that'll be of course, Chrom being notorious for using Up the shield most of the time, does a lot of damage. Did you know it does 26 damage, and did you know Roy's down B kills?
Yes, I do. That's the thing. I think in terms of an Echo matchup, regardless of who is better in total, Roy might have a slight advantage because Chrom's Ether, that Soaring Slash is definitely easier to counter than the Flare Blade.
For sure.
Both are entirely possible.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Chrom try to go for a counter on the up B from Roy. He failed to do so. So we immediately see how hard it is for Chrom to actually find that gimp, because Roy has so much mix-ups between in between that.
Yes, he does, and despite all those variables, so far it's just pretty much been 1-for-1, almost exactly even in percent. Winter Dreams started with only one stock, so this has been as even as can be.
Yeah.
For ledge trap situation, but ledge trapping is much harder on Wi-Fi, so that's a big problem for Chrom mains.
Mm-hmm.
See it right here. See it right here.
Oh, yeah, he went for the mix-up of thinking that he will land on a platform, but I mean, that's the most predictable of mix-ups because everybody does that, and Winter Dreams is thinking ahead and knowing that that situation will become the stock for him.
And Winter Dreams is probably already feeling pretty good. He has taken 4 stocks.
Yeah.
He's still working with his last stock.
I mean, to be fair, lots of props for Ireland for bringing us back, especially because Time Balloon started this thing so extremely well for Sweden.
Right, right.
7.
They did not get demoralized. Hollowpup really instantly brought them back into it, and now Winter Dreams is pushing it forward. Riff is, of course, set to take this particular set with the back air sweet spot. There it is. No way he's living it. And he went 2 for 2. You know, as long as he takes one stock from the next player, Riff can at least say, it wasn't me. But of course, of course, he's going to be aiming to take more than one stock. Let's find out who his opponent is. The rosters are flying back onto your screen. This time, we're taking a look at the Ireland crew. I think Michael would be a logical choice.
I think so too. I mean, I guess. What do you think of Samus versus Roy?
Oh, I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
Not at all?
Roy has a very good advantage state, and Samus had actually a pretty decent advantage state with the Morphle Bomb, but the sheer speed of Roy makes those fake outs not as effective, because usually he can still get to you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Anything
I
with
mean,
the
looking
grounded
at,
moves, Chrome and Roy, they don't really have any specific anti-projectile moves, but they are so fast. They close the distance if you make one
they,
mistake
Roy
in
and
your
Chrome
opponent.
themselves are the projectiles.
Right, they just hurl themselves at you.
Mhm. I
I'm
mean,
not going to say it's a bad matchup, but I personally really don't like it.
yeah, I can see that, especially because of the pressure the Roy and Chrome gives you, on top of the pressure of actually playing in a crew battle. I cannot stress that enough. Looking at the rest of Ireland's team, we see two heavies and an Ike, and it's safe to say those characters won't be picked, mostly because the matchup against Roy is actually really hard. So all we have left is James PogChamp, who plays Mario, Scarfeld, who plays Fox, Michael, who plays Greninja, and Antu, who plays Samus. And as you said, Antu is quite unlikely. So it's between Michael, James PogChamp, who plays Mario, and Scarfeld, who plays Fox.
What about Creeper Constable? Bowser.
I mean, it's a Bowser versus a Swordy. What do you think about that?
Not good. But I will say this: Bowser definitely gets a power up in crew battles, and he also definitely gets a power up when he is coming in fresh versus the dude with only one stock remaining. Because
That's true.
The fact that you don't have any time to really see what they're gonna do is really, really big in crew battles versus characters that can really get you with one or two good guesses or nice read.
Okay, so we're going to see Fox from Scarfeld. This is not melee, so we can't up air against the Roy and Roy can't up throw.
Oh, but it is Battlefield and it is Ultimate, so we might see some big old up air ladders that we know from Smash 4. They carried over quite well to Ultimate. Let's find out what it can do.
Yeah. Immediately Scarfeld going for really aggressive options, just throwing his foot at his sword. Riff immediately goes for a disengage, and I immediately see how safe he's trying to play. Using his double jump and mostly just whiffing it, trying to stuff options out from Scarfeld.
Right, and that makes sense because we know Scarfeld as an absolute combo and advantage state monster.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you want to bring in when the other guy, like I said before, only has one stock, can't really make any mistakes to see what's coming. It's really big. For characters that can just, destroy you off a couple of touches like that.
Yeah.
Riff is going to be extra careful. We have seen it from him so far. He has built up a tiny percent lead. But of course, Fox also has a tiny weight.
Yeah, and the only thing Fox has managed to get are some jabs and some stray hits. But none of his famous combo videos have been shown here. And
we haven't seen the up tilts. We haven't seen the up airs.
We've seen one up tilt, but there was one hit.
Yeah, right. It just won't hit.
Yeah.
We've seen the dash sticks, and here we go. Here we finally go. That was finally a nice combo. We got dash attack, we got neutral air, up air, 3 hits. It counts as a combo.
I guess, but Riff has been using his up B out of shield really amazingly. Oh my god, he tried to stuff his aerials, and having a frame, I don't know what armor you get from what frame, but having a good, that almost killed, having a good armor on your retreating option is actually really good, especially if the only thing you try to do is stuff his aerials, but it doesn't matter. Up smash is not an aerial.
And he up smashed him between hits 2 and 3 of the double-edged dance, and that's so unfortunate for Riff because he was looking like he was gonna get at least one stock from Scarfeld. And Scarfeld is definitely one of the better players on the Irish team, so that would have been really big, and he got so close. But, it's a crew battle, so the percents are gonna reset when the next players are brought in.
So Ireland has brought it back.
Yeah, they have totally brought it back.
Yeah, Time Balloon, you didn't exist. You didn't just massacre our boy. We're in even game right now, and it's really interesting.
Oh, that's totally right. Echo Serpent has been avenged 100%, and now Sweden has burned a lot of their best players, but not their very best. That would be Rage, in my personal opinion, as they face down 3 stocks of Scarfeld. I think this might be the time to bring in Rage, let the Titans duke it out.
Yeah, Rage, of course, being really... it's always been a really good player, but his big breakthrough was, of course, at DreamHack, getting 4th, I don't know.
Also had a fantastic performance at Valhalla. I think he lost to Quick in the end, but he got super close to beating Quick. And Quick
I
actually
remember.
might be the best player playing in this Invitational. That's big. Of course, matchup is totally different. Samus, Fox, nothing alike. But still, I think it's time to bring in Rage.
Yeah, but Rage also Rage not only plays Bayonetta, but in the Twitter graphics also saying that he plays Joker and Cloud. And I believe Cloud versus Fox actually a very favorable matchup for Cloud. For Joker, mainly because the edge guarding against Fox is so easy to do. You of course have Daddy Arsene with the big counter, so anything Scarfell tries to do with recovery, you can just press down B. Your barrel, of course, is extremely strong, especially if Daddy Arsene comes around.
If a down tilt with a pretty active hitbox on there for the illusion straight to the ledge.
Yeah, or the downward guns. There's so many possibilities for Rage to do when he's playing Joker. So I actually expect if Rage gets brought in, Joker will be the pick he gets.
I'm actually not sure because at the end of the day, confidence is very important in crew battles. Now,
True.
maybe you've seen more of Rage than I. I haven't seen too much of Rage, but what I have seen has been Bayonetta. So I feel like the Joker is either a recent addition or a secondary he doesn't pull out too often. But we're gonna find out right now. I can hear the announcer yell ready. Oh, we are ready. Let's find out who they picked. It is gonna be Mint. Okay. That's a very unorthodox pick with a Wii Fit Trainer.
Yeah. I have a local Wii Fit Trainer in my area, and let me just say, Wii Fit Trainer is very annoying to deal with. Doesn't help that he misses his first deep breathing, but I think in a crew battle setting, Wii Fit Trainer is very good at just tilting your opponents and making sure you dictate the pace. There's so many stuff you can do with the ball, with the deep breathing and the neutral B, or the Bracer Sun, just to set the pace for yourself. Take a deep breath, no pun intended, and make sure you de-accelerate the momentum Scarfeld is creating. Because we know Scarfeld is really good in the advantage state, and if you make sure he doesn't get any openings, that will mean a big thing for...
Been getting more than a couple of openings, though. We've seen a couple of combos, but mostly we have seen Scarfeld keep Mint consistently at the ledge. That's pretty big, but we have seen just a couple of hits for Wii Fit Trainer, and already he's taken the stock. Just a couple of hits, worked him up to 71%, deep breathing forward smash, and he is gone.
I want to breathe as well as Mint does, because that F smash killed him at like 70.
Oh yeah, Mint is not suffering from any COVID-19. He is breathing all the way through, mustering up all the power to get those early stocks. Even on Town and City, which in this game has actually fairly big blast zones.
I mean, look at this. Mint is dictating the pace so well. Scarfeld is feeling very angsty, and he keeps on pressing his buttons to make sure he finally makes something done with the ledge trap situation. But Mint doesn't care. He dictates his own pace with the ball. He breathed on his own tempo. It's amazing to see what he can do to de-accelerate someone's momentum.
Oh, on the platform, just a bit late to cover it. Scarfeld finds himself back in neutral, and he seems a bit frustrated. Oh yeah, he is getting hit with more sun salutations, with more soccer balls than he got before. I think.
Did you just say soccer ball? This is an EU qualifier or an invitational.
I know, but you know, Wii Fit is most needed in America. I've got to keep it American for this particular move. Anyway, it looks like Scarfeld is having a tough time, and looks like Mint is making a run for it. He is not interacting. He doesn't even want stage control. This is some plastic Wii Fit.
Yeah, and this must be so frustrating to play against if you're Scarfeld, because a combo player is always very momentum heavy, and they really try to make everything work in their favor. And whenever something doesn't work, you really see Scarfeld playing really antsy, trying to space some nairs or back airs. But that isn't what he wants. He wants that big juicy up airs to combo from out of it.
Right, but you can't
kill.
You can't start any combos from the ledge, and that's where Wii Fit lives. Oh my god!
Was a very poor volleyball.
Yeah, well, at least I didn't call Scarfeld himself a soccer ball. Okay, missed recovery from Mint is gonna give Scarfeld an easy opportunity. Thank the Lord for Team Ireland that he actually took it. But I think this is gonna be a very dominant performance for Mint.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna make it a 3-2-1. Yes, another forward smash with another charge of the D3 thing is gonna end another stock before hitting 80%. The power on that deep breathing smash attack is absolutely unmatched.
It's so smart that they brought in Mint, knowing that Scarfeld really gets antsy. I think the scouting of this team was really amazing, and
I don't know who made the call, but Mr. Green is the team captain, and I'm just gonna say excellent choice to Mr. Green. For a second there, I thought, is this the best choice? I thought Fox versus Wii Fit, not the best matchup for Wii Fit, because in a lot of ways, Wii Fit is kind of like Samus. Floaty, couple of projectiles, tries to control neutral, and Fox really doesn't allow people to do that, but the ledge play, which Wii Fit does really well at, and apparently is also something Mint has truly made his own, was just perfect. Because like you said, big combo character, big combo player, but you can't start any combos from the ledge. Just can't do it. Needs to be on stage. And that's exactly where he was not at.
Yeah, perfectly control of the space, and Ireland is now forced to bring their last player. This might be Samus, man. I think N2 was one of the better players Ireland has, and it's a very common strategy to bring one of your best players as last. It's
gonna be AN2 or Michael, because Greninja is I think a decent choice versus Wii Fit. Also a decent choice versus Wii Fit. And I look at the rest: Donkey Kong, Bowser, definitely not decent choices versus.
No, they don't even get a chance to get in, and I mean especially Donkey Kong, who has a very hard time just walking around the ball.
Yeah, James PogChamp is another choice they could make. Mario does pretty well.
That would be very PogChamp.
But like you said before, it is usually the instinct to keep one of your best players for last. And I definitely recognize AN2's name. I heard a lot about Michael too.
And it will be Bowser.
No,
okay.
Possible. Okay, this is definitely a surprise pick from Ireland.
Yeah, that throws away all of our conversation just now.
Oh yeah, in terms of matchup, I think this is a big mistake. But in terms of just player, Creeper Constable is pretty good. I haven't even considered him purely based on the matchup.
Yeah, I think this is more about the long Kong. I mean, Bowser is very heavy, and he can stock tank very well. So I think they're thinking more long term, mostly because Wii Fit is not their last character. They all have one left, and it will be more manageable to do when you're playing a heavy character to have that comeback potential.
Yeah, that has to be the rationale. Super close for a good character, Bowser. I said it before, I shouldn't be too surprised that character gets a bit of power up in crew battles. We've already been able to see why Wii Fit does well versus Bowser, but we've also seen why Creeper Constable has actually not been too bad a pick. Look at that.
So close.
Oh yeah,
that was quite janky, but we'll take it.
A classic. You think you need to tag, but you don't. There it is. Mint is at least keeping it even, and keeping it even is pretty good when you got the lead. There's the Flame Breath. We're getting up to 40% damage.
That was 50 damage. Oh my god, that was almost a spike.
And the back air, if that back air had hit, we would have gotten a beautiful clip on our hands. Instead, Creeper Constable is just doing very well for himself.
Yeah, and I think Mint is very content about playing around the edge, because Bowser is so scary that one hit is all it takes. And Bowser has way more range than Fox does. So, it is... Oh my god! As we said, the fair from Bowser has way more range. So it's way easier to edgeguard her.
I still stand by that in matchup-wise, it should have been a little bit tough. But Creeper Constable and Mint barely played any neutral. Almost the entirety of the game was played in advantage state. So, well, there you have it. Creeper Constable coming out with a big surprise for it. And putting Ireland once again in a relatively even position.
Yeah.
They're down one stock, but you know, after the comeback they needed to make after the first matchup with Time Balloon, and the Serpent guy. What's his name again? Hackle Serpent.
Serpent guy. Yeah. So I've just commentated Belgium versus Turkey, and a very similar thing happened. Where
From the Destroyer.
Yeah, Belgium was on the back foot for most of the set. Until Power Man made a very great comeback for the team. And the last player that was standing between a victory for Turkey was a very, very specific Bowser player called Gopatron. Will Creep Constable be able to cosplay Gopatron in a way that almost feels like robbery?
Can he become the Irish Destroyer? Of course, he's gonna have to face off versus Sweden's anchor right now. If Rage is available to play, they're 100% gonna go for Rage. But if he's not, because we have seen some top players who were available on Sunday, but not on Saturday.
Yep.
That could still, if it's a little bit of a surprise.
I mean, Sweden doesn't get to play tomorrow if Rage is only available tomorrow.
Right.
And if Creeper Constable is able to take it home for Ireland.
Right, but if he isn't, I doubt they are calling a self-wall right now. We kinda need you to come on over. It's
the last talk.
too well.
The last talk between what was it? I think we saw a Bayonetta versus a Bowser matchup in the Belgium versus Turkey matchup. It's already been an hour ago, and my brain is a bit off. But Bowser's seem to have no problems playing against a Bayonetta. So I doubt Rage gets put in if he tries to plan on playing Bayonetta.
I mean, yes, but based on Rage's performances at offline tourneys, also no.
True. I keep thinking Rage is one of the best Bayonettas in the world, and it is Bayonetta for Rage.
If he can give Quick a run for his money with Bayonetta, he can do the same.
That's very true. That's very true. And of course,
also only has 2 stocks to work with.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Last players for both of these teams. Let's see if Gopatron's spirit is alive in Creeper's Constable.
Right, can he become the Irish Destroyer? How is Dam to show, but it seems so far an even match, and that's not what you want. We're stuck behind. Oh, there's the Nair. Letting Nair can sometimes give Bowser a huge second hit, usually a back air. Unfortunately, he did not get the right hit on Nair right there. Now he finds himself back at the ledge, which is a big problem for Bowser.
Yeah.
Somehow he got up with a roll up B, you know? Sometimes you just gotta push.
You just have to push your buttons. This is the tricky part, though. Around this percentage, Bowser doesn't actually get... Oh, never mind. I was about to say Bayonetta will have some problems killing Bowser, but one back air did all the job.
Right, and you're not wrong. She does have a huge problem killing Bowser, but you know that sweet spot back air is the one move on Bayonetta's aerial kit that still has the power you want when taken on heavies. So
Ireland.
good on Rage for hitting it.
Ireland back against the wall. Last stock for this team, this country.
Right, and we already see big combos coming out from Rage with the afterburner kicks, the aerials. This is how we know and love Rage. 5B is gonna put him at the ledge. Not quite doing it.
Great stalling.
And he is back. He has not been stuck at the ledge for a single time, and that's really important. Especially because Bowser is gonna be kept there for a while. Here right now, Creeper Constable back at the ledge, and he can't get off. He can't get off. Just another instant stiletto off the ledge jump. That is a quick cleanup from Rage just after Ireland had gotten some hope. They made 2 big comebacks.
It was very close, though, to be really fair.
It was close, but in the end, a loss is a loss. Nothing else. Sweden is gonna advance.
I mean, Time Balloon being the MVP for this team, making sure that the momentum is really shifting in Sweden's favor from moment 1. And sorry for doubting you, Rage. I didn't think your Bayonetta will be so clean against this Bowser. That will be it for Sweden's amazing victory against Ireland.
That's the classic, man. You see Bayonetta, you think about SmashCore, you think about the ultimate, you scoff a little, and then the Rage just hits you over the head.
Yeah, he's I mean, he's the best Bayonetta, one of the best Bayonetta players in the world for a reason. So
Right. Anyway, I think that means we're heading in for a switch because it is
Yep.
1 duo per match.
Yep. This
do
will be
have
it
a
for
threat.
us as a caster. I believe you get to cast later this evening.
Yes, I do. It's gonna be the Netherlands versus Belgium, so that's gonna be a lot of fun for me. But for
I'm not
now,
biased, but I think Netherlands is pretty good. I'm not sure where my bias is coming from.
I don't know either. I'm gonna try to express it because I'm instantly heading over to the DAT Team stream because that's where the Netherlands versus Belgium is happening. Be sure to keep a multi-Twitch open on Geeky Goon Squad, DAT Team Live, and NintendoNext Live because
Yep.
we have 3 streams at once. What more could you want?
Yep, and this will be it for me. I've casted already for 2 sets, so thank you for having me, ESCI. Follow me on Twitter. Thank you very much for casting with me, Gijsbeer.
A pleasure. It's been a good one.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
Memories that made those days sublime. These ruined halls and tombs, stolen time. Reach far.